Hello everybody and welcome to the 8th Aseproce workshop that we are celebrating this year for the first time online. I would like to thank all the educators and our members who have been very supportive throughout this year and that they are very eager to start meetings with you today. For the educators who have participated in our workshop before, they already know that Aseproce was founded in 1987. It is a non-profit organization with more than 60 members and that they represent 70% of the market share in our country. It's been a difficult year for everybody, so I would like to focus today on the different programs and different challenges that our agencies have had and probably ways to solve this in the future. I will point out some of the issues by type of program. Short-stay programs, school groups, some groups were participating in the program when our government announced the lockdown. Agencies had to pay for early return flights for groups who had to come back home earlier than expected. And some other groups were about to start the program and the agencies had paid everything to the airlines and to the schools. When the program didn't take place, the agents had to refund to the parents. Some schools were reluctant to reimburse and airlines were giving vouchers. And obviously there has been some problems with Ryanair and other airlines which haven't reimbursed fully or they have just done partially. There were not groups after the announcement of the lockdown, and there are not groups for this year, and it is very likely that we don't see school groups again until the last 2 weeks of June or beginning of September 2021. When we talk about summer junior programs, agencies had paid deposits to school, which in some cases haven't been refunded to the agents. The deposits were also paid to the airlines, and in most of the cases we have had to admit vouchers instead of full refunds. Agencies had to refund the programs to the parents or the deposit that the parents had already paid to them. And we haven't had junior programs this summer. Hopefully in 2021 there will be summer groups, but it is still very uncertain. When we talk about adults, there has been issues with the refunds when the students were attending the schools and the schools had to close because of the lockdown. We as agents lock vouchers as they mean that the students will travel again with us, but it is up to the students in Spain to decide if they want to accept them or not. If the student doesn't accept the voucher, the agency has to refund fully, even if the school hasn't done it. Aseproce has been in touch with some of the educators trying to get an agreement about refunds for the agents, and although in most of the cases there has been a solution, we still have some schools who have refused to refund the agencies for the courses that they haven't taken place. Now let's going to talk about the high school programs, and it has varied depending on the country. For example, in the case of the USA, there has been a lot of uncertainty about the student visas for entering into the USA. It was not until the end of June when the embassies announced it all over the world that they would start giving appointments for the students' visas, A1 and F1, and that the students would be able to travel. This uncertainty has led to many cancellations and has caused a lot of work for the agencies, but finally students could travel, and since August the students have been traveling into the USA. When we talk about Ireland, this is normally a last-minute market in terms of sales. In the same way that the students sign up for USA or Canada with 9-10 months before departure, Ireland still gets booking even when the course has started, being the peak sales season in the spring. This was in the middle of the lockdown. This has made that all the last-minute bookings have been very low this year. Regarding Canada, it was very agonizing as Canada only announced it at the end of August that they didn't open borders for students. We had a lot of students waiting, and in most of the cases without a school place confirmed in Spain. The uncertainty has been very stressful for everybody, and although most of the school districts have acted in a very supportive way, there has been some others who haven't had some good practices, giving fees like administration fees when it wasn't a cancellation from the student side and it was from Canada, which didn't allow the students to travel. To summarize, I think we have all learned from this pandemic and there will be things that they need to change in the future. The industry has to work on a best practice code that covers in a deeper way the importance of agents worldwide. There will have to be better contracts instead of the actual agreements, and a clear definition of who is the client must be agreed between the educators and the agencies. Funds sent by agents must be guaranteed until the student gets to the destination, and they need to be covered from the different schemes each country has in the event of a closure. Thank you very much for participating in this workshop. I hope you find it fruitful, that you have good meetings, and we hope to see you again in person next year. Thank you.